Hello everyone, myself Rajesh, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE at Bignans Nirula Institute of Technology and Science for Women. Today, we are here to have a discussion regarding the web technologies. And in these web technologies, coming to the Unit 1, actually in this Unit 1, we are going to discuss about HTML and CSS. And where the HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And coming to the syllabus related to this Unit 1, and in this HTML the first concept is a basic syntax. It means that how to write a HTML document. And coming to the another one is standard HTML document structure. It means that what is the basic structure of writing a HTML document. And whereas coming to the next one is a basic text markup. It means that what are the different types of markup tags we are having, and all those tags we are going to discuss. And the next concept is about images. It means that how we are going to insert an image in a web document. That is about the images concept. And whereas coming to the next concept is hypertext links. So, in that hypertext links concept, we are going to know about how to insert hyperlinks in your web page. And coming to the next concept is list. So, how to insert different types of lists in a HTML. That is about list concept. And coming to the next concept is tables. So, in that tables concept, you are going to learn about how to insert a table of data which is arranged in along the row wise and along the column wise. And thereafter, the next concept is forms. So, in that forms concept, generally sometimes it is needed to insert different types of forms in a web page. So, how to insert the different types of forms? That is to be discussed in that concept forms. And the next concept is about this HTML5. So, nowadays we are all dealing with the DHTML, that is all comes under this HTML5. And the last concept is cascading style sheets. So, in these cascading style sheets, you are going to apply different types of styles to a web page. So, the major objectives. So, what are the objectives related to this Unit 1? So, first basically you are going to learn about HTML, the basic syntax of the HTML, how to write a HTML document like that. And whereas coming to the another one is how you are going to insert an image into your HTML with the help of using the image tag. And whereas coming to the next objective is how to use the forms in a HTML. That means simply using the forms in your web page. Whereas coming to the next one is creating a table and inserting a table in your web page. It means that simply how you are going to create the table and how you are inserting your table of data in a web page. And the last one is how we are going to create a web page using the HTML5 and cascading style sheets. And so, basically coming to the history of internet, in 1960, US Department of Defense has decided to build a large scale computer network in the year 1960. So, this network is developed this network is designed to provide a communication among the computers and to access the remote computers and to access the shared data. So, this type of network is having the robustness. So, what do you mean by a robustness? Students, do you have any idea about the robustness? So, robustness means even if one computer gets failed, the network should continue its functionality. So, this type of network is having the robustness, and the first node of the network is developed in the year 1969. and the US Department of Defense ARPA has funded this project, and hence the name of the network was ARPANET, where that ARPA stands for Advanced Research Project Agency. So this ARPA is connected only some laboratories which are funded by ARPA. The universities and other government organizations have not connected using this network. So hence many small networks have developed for satisfying their need. So in the year 1986 NSF was created, where that NSF stands for National Science Foundation. Initially NSF has connected 5 universities, and by 1992 NSF has connected 1 million number of computers around the world. So the NSF network is called as NSF Net, which was funded by NSF itself. So hence the combination of ARPANET and NSF Net collectively is known as Internet. So now you have to know what is the definition of a Internet. What do you mean by Internet? So Internet is nothing but, so simply this is a global system of interconnected computer networks that uses a standard internet protocol suite to serve billions of users around the world. So basically this internet is a network of networks that consisting of millions of public, private, academic, government computer networks. So and using the internet many people can share the resources over the internet. And suppose if anyone wants to access the internet, one must communicate with the internet service providers. So now you have to know what is the typical setup required for using the internet. So for what is the typical setup for using the internet? It is nothing but first you must have a computer. So you must have a computer, and your computer must connected to the internet service provider either by using a cable modem or else by using a phone line. Then only your computer must have the internet. So suppose if anyone wants to use the internet, your computer must have a network interface card, which in turn connected to a local area network, and it is connected to the internet service provider. Suppose if your computer is not resides in a local area network, your computer must connected to the internet service provider either by using a modem or a phone line. That is the typical setup required for using the internet. So that is all the basics related to the internet. And now what we are going to discuss in the is nothing but, so first we are going to discuss about what is a World Wide Web. So what does that World Wide Web stands for? So the concept of World Wide Web is introduced by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who is a contractor at a European Organization for Nuclear Research in the year 1980, and he built the personal database of the people and used hypertext so that each new page of information was linked to an existing page. So at that time he introduced HTML, HTTP and web browser. So what does that HTML stands for? Hypertext. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So as I told you initially, Sir Tim Berners-Lee used hypertext. So because of this hypertext only, each new page of information was linked to an existing page. So he introduced the concept of HTML, HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and web browser. And during 92 and one more thing is that this is the time the first browser, first web page was built. that is http://info.ceorn.ch. So where in that URL, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and actually the name of a website that he built is info.ceorn.ch, and during 92 to 95, along with the HTTP protocol, an additional protocol got introduced by Tim Berners-Lee, and its name is Mosaic. And one more thing is that, so in 1993, a new web browser got introduced, and its name is Mosaic. So which is having the graphical user interface, and during 1994, a new group has been formed, and its name is W3C, which stands for World Wide Web Consortium at MIT, where that MIT stands for Massachusetts Institute of Technology, with the help of DARPA, that stands for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, in the year 1994. That is all some introduction to the World Wide Web. And now we are going to see about what is a web browser. So what about that web browser? It is nothing but simply, so the web browser is a kind of a software which is used to access the resources over the web. And generally, if you observe, different types of web browsers are there. Like the first one is Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and the last one is Maxthon Cloud Browser, which nowadays you are using to write your online examinations. And over the networks, two computers are communicating with each other. One is called as a client and another one is a server. So what is the client stands for? What does that server stands for? So what does that client stands for? Means when a computer is making a request, or else when a request made by one computer, then such type of a computer is called as a client. And when a request gets served by another computer, and such type of a computer is called as a server. So this is all some introduction regarding the web browser. What is a web browser? And as you see, different types of web browsers we are having, like Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and the next one is the basic nowadays which we are using Google Chrome, and the last one is Maxthon Cloud Browser. And now coming to the next concept is URL, which stands for a Uniform Resource Locator. So what does that URL means? So where we are going to use this URL? So the basic syntax of URL is two parts actually it is having. One is a scheme and another one is address. These two parts are separated by colon. So scheme colon address. So actually what does that scheme stands for? The scheme specifies the type of a communication protocol that the user wants to visit. And one more thing is, the second part is there actually here, address. What is that address? It specifies the location of a web server along with the location of a file which you want to visit. And as you observe in that example, so protocol colon slash server name slash path file name. So where related to that general syntax, see the example that we have written is http://vignannirula.org/csc/ what is the name of the file that we are accessing is home.html. So if you observe here, vignannirula.org is the web server, and csc is the directory where our desired file home.html is existed, and finally the file that we are accessing is home.html. And see in this diagram, if you observe two computers are there, I mean if you observe the syntax here, URL. So the first one is HTTP is a protocol, and the www World Wide Web is a subdomain, and the Google is a name of a web server, and the last one is a COM, which stands for commercial, is a domain name. And that is all the basic things regarding the URL. And coming to the next, what we are going to discuss next is about web server. So what is a web server? This web server is a kind of a server to which our web browser submit our request to or request of a web page. That means as we are the clients, right? So we are submitting our request to the server with the help of the web browser. Understand? Students understand? So this web server is a special type of a server to which the web browser of a client submit the request of a web page. Understand? And generally two types of web servers are there related to our environment. One is Apache web server and another one is IIS web server. So Apache web server is basically related to the Unix operating system and IIS web server is related to Windows operating system. Understand? So this Apache is an open source software which is best suitable for Unix operating system as I told you previously. And you can able to configure the Apache web server with the help of a configuration file and its name is HTTPD. So its extension is CONF. Why? Because it is a configuration file. And what is the another type of a server means which is best suitable for Microsoft Windows operating system. The another server is IIS server, which stands for Internet Information Services or Internet Information Server, which is a kind of a web server which may most probably suitable for Windows operating system. Understand? So IIS stands for Internet Information Services or Internet Information Server. That is all the discussion regarding the web server. So this is all the basics. And as you observe in this diagram, here two computers are there. The first one is where I mentioned a web browser. You can assume it like a client. And see here we are having the web server is there. So the web browser is submitting a request to a web server using the internet service. And now after that this web server is sending certain response to the web browser. So it means that simply to the client. That is the type of a communication to be happened in between the two types of computers. So one is a client and another one is a server. So those two are using the internet as a communication media. So that is all the basics related to this web server. And if you observe in the next concept, here we are going to learn about HTML introduction. So have you ever thought of how a web page is created, dear students? Do you have any idea how a web page is created? So now I am telling you how to create a web page. So what is a HTML and how it is useful? So here HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. We are using the HTML to develop our web documents. It means that our web pages. So how the HTML is useful and what does that HTML stands for? See, if you observe, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, which is a subset of HTML. Understand? And this HTML describes the structure of a web page. So it means that how a web page is having the structure, how a web page is structured, that structure is described by the HTML. And this HTML consisting of a series of elements or a series of tags. So an element or a tag. So these HTML elements tells the browser how to display the web content. Remember students, these HTML tags or HTML elements tells the browser how to display the content. And if you observe, these HTML elements are represented as tags. So it means that you can able to call them like elements or else it may be a tags. So coming to the basic syntax now, it means that how to write a HTML document. So in this basic syntax, we are going to know how a HTML document is to be prepared. So, if you observe in this diagram, I mean in this example, so the first line doc type space HTML, actually it is a comment, and actually see, if you observe in this example, everything is preceded by a left angler and followed by a right angler. So, you have to notice that anything which is preceded by left angler and followed by the right angler can be considered as an element or tag. So, here this doc type space HTML should be considered like a comment. Why? Because it is preceded, doc type is preceded by exclamatory mark. So, anything which is preceded by exclamatory mark can be considered as a comment. And after that line, if you observe after the doc type section, the next line is HTML. As usually HTML is preceded by left angler and followed by right angler. So, you can consider it like a tag. So, after writing the HTML, the next line that we are having is the head. So, and remember that before writing the head, every HTML document must start with a HTML tag, remember. And in this head, another tag is also there, which is a title. So, actually this head is a head section. And this title, what is the student? So, if you observe, what is the title that we have used here? Welcome. So, welcome is the title that I have used here. It means that here I am using a title to my web document. What is the title? Welcome is the title. So, after closing that title, so what I have used here is head. Head is closed now. It means that head is preceded by a symbol slash, which is a backslash. So, head is closed now. After closing the head section, what I have started is a body section. So, students, remember that body is the main section of this HTML document. So, if you observe in this body, here I have used the two elements or two tags. What are those two tags that I have used? Is one is h1 and another one is p. So, what does that h1 and what does that p stands for? This h1 stands for a heading and the next p stands for a paragraph. So, which one I want to display like a heading means my first heading is the text that I have used there. So, my first heading should appear like a heading. It means its size is bigger when compared to the paragraph. See, even in your textbooks also, if you observe, the heading should appear in larger size and paragraph should appear in lower size. Understand? So, and after writing those two tags, heading and p, so for every tag you must write the starting tag and closing tag. Understand? So, as usually body is closed and finally HTML is closed. Understand? So, how we are going to get the output for this HTML document is nothing but, see, if you observe this output. So, here heading is displayed and the next paragraph is displayed. So, in this output, my first heading is appears in, its size is larger when compared to the my first paragraph. Understand? So, this is a basic structure of how we are going to write a HTML document. Understand? And coming to the next one, standard HTML document structure. So, even based on the previously discussed example also, we can able to say about the standard HTML document structure. See, in the previous example, we have used first actually doc type, which stands for document type. Actually, it is the first section, and the next section that we have used is actually which starts with HTML, followed by that we have used head. So, every HTML document must have a head section where we are inserting the title of a web page. So, it stands for a head section, and the last one is body, which starts with a body, which is a body section. So, this HTML document are majorly divided into three parts. As I mentioned previously, the first one is a doc type, which stands for a document type section, and it specifies the document type, what we are going to write in this document type section means you have to write the comments in this DOC type section, and every comment must be preceded by exclamatory mark. That is a DOC type section. And if you observe, the second section is a head section. So this head section majorly consisting of a title of a web document. It means that simply what you are going to write in that document. It contains a certain information related to your web document. For example, the title of a web page, and next version of HTML that you are using, and what is the type of a data that you are using, like the metadata, etc. And see, if you observe, the third section is which is a measure one, body, and this contains everything you wanted to display on the web page, and this is the major thing. Students understand, majorly how many sections we are having is 3 sections over there. The first one is a document type section, and the second one is, what is the second one? Head section, and the third one is body section. And now I am going to represent all those 3 sections in a diagrammatic format here. So if you observe in these, the first what is the first section, students? Actually it is a DOC type followed by HTML, and it means that simply it is a document type section. And see, if you observe the second section, so as usually we started the HTML, and followed by that what we are having, head, so that this section can be considered as head section. And see, in the last you are having the body, and as usually at the end body is also closed, which is preceded by slash. Students, what about this section? So this section is a body section. Understand? So every HTML document must have its starting tag, which is HTML, and it must have its ending tag, which is preceded by slash, and this is the HTML. Understand? So this is the basic standard HTML document structure. Students understand? So now in the next slide you are going to discuss about HTML tags. And before going to discuss about those HTML tags, let us look an example. Let us discuss an example. So what about that example? See, in this example, first it starts with a HTML, which stands for hypertext markup language. Next it is having the head section. And students, if you observe, what is the title of that web page? The title of that web page that I have used is a basic HTML document. So after writing that title, the title is closed, and the head section is also closed. It means that head is closed. After closing the head, as usually I have started the body. Within the body, how many tags that I have used? As we discussed previously, like the first one is H1 and the next one is a P. Students, you already know what does that H1 stands for? Yes, it is a heading. And what is the P stands for? Yes, it is a paragraph. So what was the text that I want to display like a heading? Means, welcome to the world of web technologies. I wanted to display it like a heading. And next P. So I wanted to display P as a paragraph. So after writing, see, if you observe these 2 tags, one is H1 and another one is a P. These 2 tags are having their own starting tag and they are having their own ending tag. So you have to remember that the difference between a starting tag and ending tag is, ending tag must be preceded by slash. So, and one more thing is that how to write a tag. Anything which is preceded by left angular and right angular should be considered as a tag here. And as usually you have closed the body and then you have closed the HTML. That is a basic example. So students, do you have any idea what about the output of this web document? And one more thing is that how to write this one, where we have to write this document, and this is not a program, this is a document only, remember. And where you have to save this, in your location, in your desired location you may save this program. And what was the, not the program, and this is a web document, so that you have to mention it like a document, and what was the extension that you have to use at the time of saving this document is .html. Understand, like the C or a Java, this HTML document also having the extension like .html. So as usually like the Java program, you have to open a notepad and type this entire document and save this document in your location with a specified name which is having the extension .html. And if you observe how you are going to get the output to this web document, see, in internal to the body we have written two major things. The first thing is a welcome to the world of web technologies, and another one is a sample HTML program which is written by Amar. So two lines are written by me, one is a heading and another one is a paragraph. So if you in your web page, what is the content that you have written is only two lines. One is a heading and another one is a normal paragraph. So do you have any idea how the output is displayed? Yes. So if you observe the output, the first one is a welcome to the world of web technologies appears like a heading which is larger in size. And if you observe the second line, that is a sample HTML program written by Amar, that appears smaller in size. So if you write a program like the previous one, you are going to get the output like this. And see, if you observe on the top edge, title is displayed there. What is that title that we have written is a basic HTML document in our document. Understand? That is a sample HTML document. How you are going to create a web document and how you are going to save the web document and how you are going to display the content is nothing but actually by using the default web browser in your system, whenever you have saved this web document, an icon should be there. You can able to open that icon directly with your desired web browser. So then actually here what is the web browser that I have used is Mozilla Firefox. So in my system, my default web browser I have used is Mozilla Firefox. That's why it was my web document opens with Mozilla Firefox. Understand? So coming to the next concept, that is a basic text markup. So in this basic text markup, so we are going to discuss about see, in HTML many number of tags are there. So among all the number of available tags, now I am going to discuss some specific number of tags which are useful as per our syllabus. So coming to all the basic HTML tags. So if you observe the first tag that I have mentioned here, it is a body. So what does that body stands for? It specifies the body of the entire web page, and the general syntax of this body appears generally like this. As usually it starts with a left angular and ends with a right angular. In between that left angular and right angular followed by the body, some things are specified here. What about those two? Is nothing but actually two are specified here. One is a BG color and another one is a background. These two are generally called as attributes. One is a BG color and another one is a background. So what are the values related to that attributes BG color and next background? For the BG color, for instance, I have used the green, and for the background what I have used is I have specified the location of file which I want to use as a background to my web document. Students, see what is the location that I have used here. It is C:/VNITS/ the name of a image which is image1.gif. So this is the body. It represents the entire body of web document. So after the body, what I want to explain is about the paragraph. So if you observe this syntax P stands for paragraph, and what are the attributes that are available for this paragraph is align, which is accepting the values like three values generally it can accept. One is left, and another one is center, and another one is right. So this paragraph is specifying, it defines a paragraph simply. And after this paragraph, what I wanted to explain is about heading, which we have discussed previously, H1. And for this H1, one attribute is used by me, and that is align. And what about that align? What are the values that it can able to accept is as usually left, center, and right. And you can able to write your specified content, and as usually you can close the H1 tag. And after this H1, this is H1 is heading. And see students, in this HTML, different types of headings are there. How many number of headings are there? Means 6 number of headings are there. 6 number of headings. That means everyone. So suppose see in this example I have used H1. So, and one more thing is, among all the 6 headings, which one is larger in size and which one is smaller in size? H1 is larger in size and H6 is smaller in size. Understand? And after this heading, so what I wanted to explain is about HR. So what does that HR stands for? It places a horizontal line across the row which is having some specified width. Horizontal row I am specifying. So it places a horizontal line based on your specified width. See students, here what is the width value? Here width is the attribute that I have used. How much amount of the width that I have used is 50%. That means among the available width, here it places among the available width, it places a 50%. 50% it places a horizontal line. So after that, what I want to discuss now is about base font. So actually it specifies the font, the basic font. It specifies the format for a basic text. And see what is the attribute that I have used is size. So for the size, what is the value that I have used is 10 is the value. So after that, after this, the next one that I want to discuss is about a font. The previous one is a base font. Now it is a font. So and for these, 2 attributes are used by me. One is the size and another one is color. So what is the how much amount of the size that I have used is 10. And the next one, the color, it means the text color appears in red. So this font sets the font size, it's a color, and as usually some different values, relative values for the text. Actually here I have used only 2 attributes, one is color and another one is size. Along with that you can able to use a font type also. Like this different types of attributes we are going to implement in the later classes. And after this, so B, what does that B stands for? Simply implements bold effect on the text. After this B, the next one is I, which stands for italic. Simply it implements the italic effect on the text. After this, the next one is U, which stands for underline. So it implements the underline effect on the text. So even if you observe every tag is having its opening tag and ending tag except the HR till now, except the HR which places a horizontal line across the row. Here it is a self closing tag, no need to write a separate closing tag for the HR. Understand? And coming to the next one is about TT. What about the TT? Simply it stands for typewritten effect. Yeah, so it means that it is used to give typewriting effect on the given text. And if you observe, the next one is SUB, which stands for subscript. Students, sometimes you are writing x1, x2, x3 like that. X1, there 1 appears as a subscript. At that time in your web document, while you are developing the web document, you have to use this tag SUB. And sometimes power values are also you have to write x power 1, x power 2, x power 3 like that. So at the time you have to use this SUP. which stands for superscript. So it implements the superscript effect on the text. Understand? Even this TT, SUB and SUP also, for all these three tags, it is having its opening tag and it is having its closing tag. And suppose the next one is BR. So what about the BR, which stands for break? Simply use it to break the line. Suppose in your C programming language, if you wanted to display the content in the next line, at that time you are using the /n. Understand? In the same way, here we are using the BR. And for like the HR, this BR. So like the HR, this BR, no need to write its closing tag. It is a self closing tag. It means that simply after writing the BR, simply actually it is not necessary. Sometimes if you wanted to use that after writing the R, use the / symbol. Understand? So after that here I have used one more tag, which is A, which stands for anchor tag. So for this anchor tag, here we have used href as an attribute. And what is the value that I there? The value is the path of a file or path of a document which you want to visit. Whenever you are clicking on that while we are discussing the introduction regarding the World Wide Web, there I have it is developed by Tim Berners-Lee, and he used the hypertext. There we have discussed. Because of that hypertext only, each new page of information was linked to an existing page. Understand? So that is possible with the help of using this A tag only. Understand? So and generally the next web page that you want to visit is interlinked with our current page. That is possible. How it is possible? With the help of using this A tag. So it is used to link to HTML pages. So students, now I am explaining the basic example, which is as usually it starts with a HTML. As you know that three sections are there: a DOC type section, head section and body section. What we are going to write in the DOC type section means comments. So at the time of writing the comments is not must and should. So whenever it is necessary, you can able to write the comments. So for that reason, here I have omitted the document type section. So directly I have started with the HTML, which is followed by that head section is there. So HTML followed by head. And one more thing is that wherever it is necessary, you can able to write the comments. Even in your C programming language or a Java also, you can able to write the comments wherever it is necessary. In the same way, even in the head section also, along with the title, I have used the comment. So what is that comment that I have used, which is actually how to write the comment, students? Yes, it is preceded by exclamatory mark. So what is the comment that I have used here is, this page implements common HTML tags. So what is the title that I have used here? So the title that I have used is VNITSW homepage. So after that I have closed the head section and then I have started the body. So for instance, to say the body section is started, simply the body is written by me in a separate color. See here, if you for our simplicity, every line that I have written is specified in a specific color, but the content should be appears in the specific color whatever you mentioned. So students, till now I haven't mentioned any color for the text. So in the body, suppose first what you wanted to write. Suppose if you wanted to, actually whenever you are writing, even in your notebook also, first if you wanted to display a heading. So for writing the heading, which tag you have to write? Students, yes, heading tags are there. So how many heading tags are there? Yes, 6 heading tags are there. So which one is a bigger in size? H1. So suppose, see here I have used the H1. So H1, for that I have used the align as an attribute. And what is the value that I have used for the align? Center. So what is the content that I have displayed there? Our college name, Vignan Nirula Institute of Technology and Science for Women. As usually this H1 tag is having its opening tag and followed by closing tag. That is a H1 tag. After writing the H1, suppose if you wanted to write its next heading, that is suppose H2. So here I have used the H2. As usual it is having the alignment which is a center, and followed by that I have used our college address, that is a Palakluru Road, Guntur. As usual it is also having the closing tag. So and this is a H2 tag. And now whatever the content that I am having, followed by this, if I wanted to use a basic font, for that reason here I have used base font tag. So what about that base font? What about its size is 40. After that base font, see there I have used P, where that P stands for paragraph tag. So for this paragraph, followed by the P, what I have written is this college runs under the. After the what I have written? TT. The TT stands for, yes, typewritten effect. So TT off, that means for the text OF off, what I wanted to apply the effect? Typewritten effect. From that, what is the font size that I have used? Font size is equals to 5. So and thereafter as usually I have implemented a B effect, next followed by I, and there I have used the ampersand QUOT. What does it means? It is a special symbol, ampersand. If you want to anything which is preceded by ampersand QUOT, it stands for quotes are displayed, double quotes are displayed. So Vignan Educational Society followed by ampersand QUOT. That means within the double quotes, here I am displaying Vignan Educational Society. So who has re-engineered the +2 education in the, this institute is a dream come true of its founder or chairman's or name, who is an eminent educationalist who has re-engineered the +2 education in Andhra Pradesh state. So after that it is having its I tag is closed, and then D tag is closed, and then font tag is closed. So after writing all these, suppose if you wanted to place a horizontal line, for that reason here I have used the BR tag. And see, if after that in some black color like that some text is there, it is affiliated to JNTU K. And see, our university JNTU K, if I wanted to display it like a larger in size, some strong, it's like a bold effect. So that is used in strong. And coming to the next one, so suppose here HR size is equals to 5, its width is equals to 80%. So previously as I mentioned, BR stands for, it is used to break the line. That means the next content is displayed in a next line. And what does the HR stands for? It places a horizontal row across the line based on the specified size, and followed by that H3 is there. What was that? After the H3 U is also mentioned, that means followed by that everything should be appears in a underline effect. Some common HTML tags or some common tags there I have used, and those two are preceded by ampersand LT and ampersand GT. Suppose in HTML everything which is preceded by left angler and followed by right angler can be considered as a tag. You understood? Understand? But what about this? If you want to write in your web document, especially that left angler and right angler, how to write it? Means it is preceded by ampersand LT and followed by ampersand GT. That is some common tags. And as usually H3 is closed. And followed by that here I have mentioned A. So A means hyperlink or hypertext link. So it is having the attribute href, and it is having the value that is /HTML/programs/ introduction.html, and see the content that I have used is a CSC department. That means on which you have to click to open a web page, that is introduction.html, means on the CSC department you have to click. So if you have clicked on that CSC department text, which web page is displayed? That introduction.html web page is displayed. So as usually a tag is closed and followed by that I have used the BR. So let us assume that our web document is completed. So close the body and close the HTML. Understand? So do you have any idea how to save this web document? Yes, with an extension .html. Understand? So how to get the output like this for this web document is you can able to get the output like this. So if you observe what was the title that I have used previously, BNITSW home page, which appears on the top edge of this image. Understand? And as usually what is the H1 heading that is displayed, our college title, Vignan Nirula Institute of Technology and Science for Women, and followed by that Palakluru Road. For that we have used H2, that is why it appears smaller in size when compared to the college title. And as usually see, if you observe Vignan Educational Society, it is preceded by quotes, and even here it places a horizontal row. It is possible with the help of HR tag, and some common tags is there. For intentionally we have used %LT and %GT, those two are also displayed there. And at last we have used anchor tag. For that, which content, what is the content that we have used is CSC department. So whenever you have clicked on that CSC department, simply introduction.html web page is displayed. And see, if you observe for our university JNTUK, we have applied an effect strong, there it is displayed, right? Understand? So this is some common HTML tags. So in the next slide we are going to learn about how to insert an image in a web document. So generally if you observe how to insert an image in a web page means with the help of IMG tag. With the help of a IMG tag you can able to insert an image in your web page. So even for this IMG tag we are having the many number of attributes are there. So what are those many number of attributes? So this IMG tag defines or inserts an image in your HTML web page with some specific number of attributes are there. So the first attribute is name. It assigns a specific name to an image. That means whenever in your web page, if you move your mouse onto the image, immediately followed by the pointer a name is displayed. If you mentioned that name by using this name attribute, that is displayed. And see, the second attribute is ALT. Suppose in your specified location if the image is not there, at that time ALT stands for it specifies an alternate message when the image is not displayed. If the image is not available, so you have to display an alternate message. That alternate message is displayed by using this ALT attribute. And the next attribute is SRC, which stands for source. It nothing but it specifies the location of the image. And the next one is align. For the alignment, as usually 3 values are there, left, right and center. And the next one is width. It specifies the width of the image. Students, width means in which direction? Horizontal direction. And whereas coming to the next attribute is height. It specifies the height of the image along the vertical direction. Understand? Whereas a border, the next attribute is a border, and if you wanted to specify a border, if you wanted to use the border, understand? So how much that means that border size is to be displayed there. And whereas coming to the next one is there H space or V space. it means that a horizontal space or vertical space. It is used to place the space between the text and the image along the horizontal direction and along the vertical direction. Understand? So that is, these are all the different attributes that you can able to use. And one more thing is, no need to use all these attributes every time. Use the number of attributes which are necessary for you. Understand? Suppose if I don't want to mention the width and height, if I wanted to take the by default width and height, whatever the image is having, no need to mention its width and height. Simply avoid those two attributes. Even if I don't want to use the name also, avoid it. But which one is mandatory among all these attributes means, yes, which one is mandatory? You need to mention the location of the file, location of the image. Which one is, that SRC attribute is mandatory. Understand? So see the example now. So as usually, suppose here for this IMG tag, what are the attributes that I have used is the first attributes that I have used, which is a mandatory attribute SRC. What is the, by using that SRC attribute, that is a source attribute, here what is the value that I have used? Yes, vignan.jpg. And thereafter I have used ALT. Suppose if the image is not available in your specified location, at that time what was the content that I wanted to display is smiley face. Whenever the image is not available in your specific location, this alternate message, that is smiley face, is displayed there with the specific width and height. So here as usually I have used height and width. So suppose if you use IMG syntax like this, what about the output that you are going to get? Is nothing but it appears like this. Understand? So in this way you are going to insert an image in your web page. So now we will see how to insert an image in a web document. This is a general syntax. How to insert, how to use this general syntax in a web document. See, now I am going to write a, so see here I have written a web document. So as usually here it starts with a HTML and followed by that head section is there. What is the title that I have used here? Inserting an image into web page, and after closing the title, as usually head section is closed. And students, is there any DOC type section that I have used here? No, I haven't written any comments. So that DOC type section is missed here. Where in that DOC type section you can mention the comments or HTML version or else the type of a data that you are using, like that. Here I am not using all those. That's why simply omitted. In the head section I have used the title only. Inserting images into web page is the title used by me. And see, in the body section, first I have started a paragraph. Understand? Why? Because why I am saying like this, a paragraph which is P. And after writing the P tag, which tag is written by me? B. It means that it implements which effect? Yes, bold effect on the text. What is the text that I have written there? Our college title, Vignan Nirula Institute of Technology and Science for Women. After that, as usually, B is closed and P is closed. That means one paragraph is written by me which is having the bold effect. That paragraph contains the text or college title, and followed by that I have used the IMG which is designed by me, IMG tag, which is used to insert an image in your web page. So as usually the first and foremost and important attribute for the IMG is SRC. So I have mentioned the SRC attribute, and I have mentioned some location which is /vignan.jpg, which is having some specific width and height. Understand? And as usually, what is the alternate text that I want to display if the image is not available is our college title in a short form, which is a VNIT SW. As usually, after writing that, I have closed the body and then closed the HTML. Students, do you have any idea how the web document is displayed now? Here what we have used in the body section, we have used a paragraph and we have used a image tag. It means that what are the contents that we have displayed is one paragraph and next one image tag. So what about the output now? See, what is the paragraph there? Our college title, and what is the image that we have displayed is our college logo. Understand? That is all the theory related to how to insert an image in a web document. Understand? Thank you.